Okay, guys, welcome back. Here we go with page 3 of the distance learning fraction review packet. On page 3, your first question looks like this. It's a multiplying regular fractions or mixed numbers. And remember, I'm not going to do work for you. Your first page looks like that. So I will do the questions that look like this. Right? Okay. So remember, I'm doing this as an example of what to do so that you can do your own work independently. Okay, so when we're multiplying fractions, it doesn't matter if they're improper or not. It does not matter if it's top heavy right away. You can always change it back later. Okay, you can change it back to a mixed number at the end of your multiplying. First thing I like to do is highlight diagonally to see if there's anything that I can reduce. So I'm going to look at the yellow line. Remember, if you have a 1 with any number, that's not going to reduce. 1 in any number is not going to reduce. It's already as low as it possibly can be. So now I need to figure out if 13 and 2 can reduce, okay? That's an even and odd number. I know it's not going to reduce, but if you don't know that's not going to reduce, what you need to do is take a look at these two numbers using your multiplication chart. As soon as I find it, using your multiplication chart. So using my multiplication chart, I think there was a little glitch right there because I paused it and didn't really mean to pause it. My bad. So use your multiplication chart. If you're not sure if 13 and 2 can reduce, you're going to use your multiplication chart to find a 13 and a 2. Remember, we do not use the first column, right? So without using the first column, look to see if you can find a 13 and 2. There's no 13 or 2. There's 2, but no 13. Okay? There's no 2. There's no 2. There's no 2. No 2. No 2. And if you look around the block here, there are no more 2's. So that there should tell you that 13 and 2 is not going to reduce. So I can't reduce this way, I can't reduce this way. Remember, we don't multiply diagonally, we actually do the multiplication straight across. Numerator to numerator, denominator to denominator. We only look diagonally to see if there are numbers that we can reduce. So 13 times 1 is 13. 5 times 2 is 10. Okay? So now look at this, you have a top-heavy fraction, right? So this is improper. So what you need to do is make it into a mixed number. And you have practice with this on the first page, okay? So remember practicing this on the first page. Go back and take a look at the first page videos or see what you did on the first page to figure out how to change improper fractions to mixed numbers. I know that's going to go in one time. That gives me 10. I have 3 left over. Remember, I need to see your work, your division work, just like this on your scrap paper, even if you use a calculator. If you're using a calculator, go back and watch the first video to show how to use a calculator, but still yet show your work on the division. So now that I have this, these 3 main parts make my mixed number. The number on top of your house is your whole number. Your remainder is your numerator. Number on the outside of the house is your denominator. 1 3/10 is the answer to number 3. All right, let's move on to the next one and do it again. Practice makes perfect. Here you go. I have a 1 and a 4 and a 1 and a 7. What was that I said about ones and numbers? Not going to reduce. So yellow line won't reduce, neither will the green line. So all we do is multiply straight across. 1 times 1 is 1. 7 times 4 is 32, I think, right? Or 28. 7 times 4 is 28. I don't know why I cannot memorize that fact. I got it wrong 3 times last night when I was tutoring a high school student in geometry and algebra 2. Go figure. But yet I can't memorize what 7 times 4 is. People, we all have our weaknesses, but it doesn't stop me. You gonna let yours stop you? I don't think so. Okay, so here we go. So now we have mixed numbers, okay? So what do we do when we have mixed numbers? You got to change them into an improper fraction. Again, you've had practice with that on the other pages. We multiply the whole number with the denominator. 1 times 2 is 2. Add the numerator. 2 plus 1 is 3. So this is really 3 over 2. I'm going to bring down my other fraction just like it is. Okay? Follow the same steps. See if I can reduce. Remember, a 1 in a number is not going to reduce. But I know 3 and 12 will reduce. Okay, there's a 3, here's a 12. Look at that. 1, 4. 3 becomes a 1, 12 becomes a 4. Now I can multiply straight across. 1 times 1 is 1, 4 times 2 is 8. My final answer for this is 1/8. Okay, these are not mixed numbers, so I don't have to change it into an improper. I just reduce diagonally. A 7 and a 7, any number will go into itself one time. I have a 2 and an 8. These two are even numbers, so I know they're going to reduce. And again, it takes a while to get used to patterns of multiples of each other, but the more you practice with that, the quicker you will pick up on it. Remember, don't use the first row. I'm looking for a 2 and an 8, right? 2, 8. I reduce it to 1/4, okay? 1/4. Now multiply straight across. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 4 is 4. Final answer. Moving on to number 8. Change this to a mixed number first. Excuse me, improper fraction. 5 times 4 is 20. 20 plus 3 is 23. So 23 over 4 times 1/2. Look diagonally to see if I can reduce. Remember, ones in a number are not going to reduce. 23 and 2 is not going to reduce, but I'll check just in case. But I know I have the even number and the odd number, so I'm not thinking it will, but just in case. What was I looking for again? 2 and a 23. Okay, so here's a 2 with no 23. And if you notice here, you don't have any more 2's. Look around the block, no more 2's. So again, that is not going to reduce. So I will just multiply straight across. 23 times 1 is 23. 4 times 2 is 8. Haha, we're top heavy. So we can't leave it like that. We need to change it into a mixed number. Okay, 8 will go into 23. How many times? Not sure. Look, 8 will go into 23. 24 is too big, so you have to use this. So 8 will go into 23 2 times. 2 times 8 is 16. And then we would subtract. 23 minus 16, 7. Now you have those 3 parts to put your fraction together. That 2 becomes my whole number, 7 becomes my numerator, 8 becomes my bottom number. So I have 2 and 7/8 for number 12. So that should give you an idea on how to finish the top half of page 3, I think that is that we're on. The bottom of page 3, you have these questions, I think. Yep. So basically it's the same thing, except this time you're multiplying 2 mixed numbers. So that means you have to change both fractions into improper, okay? Remember, I'm not going to do this row because those are for you. I will demonstrate again. It's exactly like we just did, except this time you have 2 mixed numbers. Not hard at all, okay? So what do we do with 2 mixed numbers? We change them to improper. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 1 is 13. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. See? Highlight to reduce. Remember the rule. With 1 in a number, that's not going to reduce. 13 and a 4, I know it's not going to reduce. 13 times 9, use a calculator or your chart if you have to. That's 117. And 1 times 4 is 4. Cannot leave it top heavy though. So 4, 117. And remember, when you get to larger numbers, I showed you how to reduce the larger numbers or do division with a calculator and still show your work in the previous video. Okay, so 117, that's going to be 29. And I'm thinking that maybe this could have reduced after all. But we'll find out. 29 times 4 is 116 with 1 left over. So this would be 29 and 1/4. Nope, that's what's going to work. So for question number 3, you should have this answer. Well, I'll have this answer. I'm just showing the process because remember, these are not actually on the sheet. I kind of keep forgetting that. All right, so do another example. First, change it into an improper fraction. 1 times 12 is 12, plus 7, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I have 19 over 12. 7 times 2 is 14, plus 1 is 15 over 2. Look diagonally to see if you can reduce. Okay, now, let's see. 19 and 2 is not going to reduce, neither is 12 and 15. So let's just go ahead and multiply straight across. Remember, check your words to see if you can reduce. Use the multiplication chart, do whatever it is you do. 19 times 15, remember multiply, remember it is straight across numerator to numerator. Mine is 285. 12 times 2 is 24, but you know you can't leave it top heavy. So I will use the calculator to help me with my division. 24, see 285 divided by 24, that's 11. 11 times 24 is 264, and then we subtract. 285 minus 264, 285 minus 264 is 21's left over. I now have my 3 pieces to make a mixed number, 11, 21 over 24. That's the answer for number 7. For my number 7, you have different questions than mine, but remember, I'm just helping you get the practice in on what to do for your packet. I know what you're thinking. As soon as you remember that, this is hard. You're the one who keeps saying for this answer, you should get this. Okay, leave me alone, people. I still haven't seen anyone show up with a cheeseburger, so. 1 times 4 is 4, plus 1 is 5. What an awful color. Plus is on here, and we'll use it. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 1 is 13. There we go. Again, I can already tell and look at it, nothing's going to reduce, so I'm just going to multiply straight across. 5 times 13 is 64, or excuse me, 65. 4 times 4 is 16. Cannot leave it top heavy, so we're going to change it to a mixed number. 16 will go into 65. 4 times 16 times 4 is 64, leaving 1 left over. So the answer for this is 4 and 1, 16. 4, 1, 16. That's for that one. Okay, I think you guys get the idea for this. So I'm not even going to bother doing the last row since it's not on your packet anyway. Again, if you're not sure what to do with these, go ahead and hit rewind, or even if you go on Hard Academy, further down, you have even more demonstrations of even harder problems of how to multiply mixed numbers. I'm going to call it a day on that one, so page 3 is done. See you on page 4.